Have you ever woken up feeling like a truck ran over your body with a fever that suddenly appeared in a matter of minutes and thought, is it that other illness again? But the test came back negative? Be careful. There's an invisible enemy circulating smarter and faster than the common colds we used to know. It doesn't knock, it knocks down the door. If you felt a sore throat that felt like glass or fatigue that prevented you from even getting up to drink water, you need to pay attention to this now, because what your body is trying to tell you could save your life and the lives of those you love. Pay close attention. Forget that idea of a little cold. What we are seeing in hospitals and in the most recent virological studies is a viral aggressiveness that has caught us by surprise. The first thing you need to understand, and this is fascinating from a biological point of view, is the speed of replication. Unlike other respiratory viruses that show slow signs, H3N2 has a short incubation period and an explosion of symptoms. This is what we call sudden onset. You're fine at breakfast, and by lunchtime, you're already prostrate. Science explains this by the high affinity that the spike proteins of this virus have with the cells of our upper respiratory tract. It doesn't waste time. As soon as it enters, it hijacks your cells and starts the viral factory. And this is where the first major symptom that confuses many people begins, a high and persistent fever. It's not the kind of fever that rises slowly. It's a thermal spike that the body generates as an emergency measure, a veritable biological fire alarm trying to cook the invader. If you or someone at home has had this sudden fever of 38, 39 degrees Celsius, accompanied by chills that make your teeth chatter, this is a classic sign of the innate immune system reacting to a high viral load. But doctor, why does it hurt so much? That's the question I get asked most often. Intense myalgia, which is the medical term for muscle pain, occurs in H3N2 in a very specific way. The virus triggers a very rapid inflammatory cytokine storm. Imagine your body is sending soldiers to war, but they're using heavy artillery inside your own joints and muscles. That's why you feel pain in your back, legs, and even behind your eyes. This retroorbital pain is very characteristic and helps us differentiate it from other infections. It's as if the virus is draining the energy from your mitochondria, the power plants of your cells, leaving you with that feeling of profound exhaustion, extreme fatigue that doesn't improve even if you lie down all day. And I want you to tell me in the comments, have you ever felt that sense of tiredness where even holding your cell phone seemed like an Olympic effort? That's your body diverting all its metabolic energy to defense. Another crucial point that current research shows is the change in the throat. Many patients report a protracted pharyngitis. H3N2 causes inflammation of the pharyngeal mucosa that is very painful, often described as an extremely dry or scratchy sensation, different from the itchy feeling of allergies. And here comes an alarming piece of data that we need to monitor, the cough. Initially, it is dry, irritating, coming from deep in the chest. This happens because the virus destroys the ciliated cells, which are like microscopic brooms that clean our lungs. Without this protection, any dust or change in temperature makes you cough violently. If this cough evolves into shortness of breath, or if you notice that the fever went down and then came back with a vengeance after a few days, this is no longer just the flu. It could be the beginning of secondary bacterial pneumonia, which is the biggest complication we want to avoid. It's fascinating and frightening how this virus adapts, isn't it? It takes advantage of gaps in our immunity, especially if we haven't been vaccinated recently or if our system is distracted by stress and poor diet. Furthermore, we've seen gastrointestinal symptoms, especially in children, such as diarrhea and vomiting, which confuses parents, but is a systemic manifestation of inflammation. The headache, or cephalalgia, is also brutal and frontal, a result of the vasodilation caused by the fever. Notice that we're not talking about an isolated symptom, but a set of symptoms, a flu-like syndrome that knocks a person down in a matter of hours. Science shows us that the Darwin strain and its subsequent mutations have learned to better evade the antibodies we had from previous years, which is why the intensity is greater. It's as if the virus has changed its clothes, and our defense system takes a little longer to recognize it, allowing it to cause this initial damage. The secret to identifying whether it's H3N2 or not often lies in the intensity. The H3N2 flu is rarely mild. It demands bed rest. It demands absolute rest. And if you're feeling this now, know that your body is a perfect machine trying to heal itself. But we need to give it the right tools, not hinder the process. Hydration here isn't just drinking water. It's a therapeutic strategy to keep your blood fluid and help your kidneys filter out the toxins from this viral battle. Now that we've uncovered how this virus operates, we need to talk about defense strategy. And I'm not talking about those generic tips you hear everywhere, but rather what biophysics and modern immunology teach us about blocking this invader's entry. The first real protective barrier, and one that many neglect, is the quality of the air you breathe. Recent studies on fluid dynamics show that H3N2, like other highly transmissible respiratory viruses, doesn't just travel in those heavy droplets when someone sneezes in your face. The dangerous discovery is that it hitches a ride on aerosols, microscopic particles that remain suspended in the air like an invisible mist in enclosed spaces. This changes everything. If you enter an office, an elevator, or a waiting room where someone infected was minutes ago, the virus may still be floating there, waiting to be inhaled. That's why cross-ventilation is your best friend, a true sanitary weapon. Opening opposite windows creates a current that dilutes the viral load, drastically reducing the amount of virus that could enter your system. It's pure mathematics. Fewer viruses entering the body mean a lower chance of infection taking hold or becoming severe. Before we continue with this protection, please check if you're already subscribed to the channel, because information like this, based on evidence and not fear, is rare, and I want to keep you close by so we can take care of your health. Understanding that air is the battlefield? Let's talk about your internal biological armor. Did you know that your body's first line of defense isn't antibodies, but mucus? Exactly. The mucous membranes of your nose and throat need to be intact and hydrated. When the weather's dry or when we drink little water, this protective layer cracks, creating microfissures, and the mucus thickens, losing its ability to trap the virus before it touches the cells. Science calls this mucociliary clearance. Drinking water constantly isn't just to quench thirst, it's to maintain the correct viscosity of this shield, allowing the cilia in your airways to sweep the H3N2 virus out or into the stomach, where the acid destroys it. Furthermore, the relative humidity in your room is crucial. Enveloped viruses like influenza tend to survive longer and float better in dry air. Using humidifiers or wet towels isn't superstition, it's environmental control against pathogens. When we talk about strengthening the immune system, we need to be very honest and scientific. There's no magic pill that boosts immunity overnight, but there is maintenance of the biological terrain. Studies in immunometabolism show that vitamin D, for example, doesn't prevent you from catching the virus, but it's an essential immunomodulator so that if you do catch it, your body's response is balanced and not exaggerated. Remember the inflammatory storm that causes pain? Adequate vitamin D levels help control that. Zinc is another fascinating element. It works by hindering the replication of viral RNA within the cell. It's not about stuffing yourself with supplements without guidance. It's about understanding that a malnourished body is a castle with its gates open. And this is where sleep comes in. During deep sleep, we release specific cytokines that fight infections. Poor sleep drastically reduces the effectiveness of T cells, the elite soldiers of your blood. Truly protecting yourself means respecting your circadian rhythm as much as you respect the use of masks in high-risk locations. Speaking of masks, the physics of materials has taught us a lot in recent years. For an aggressive and highly mutating virus like H3N2, simple fabric barriers may not be sufficient in hospital or crowded environments. The electrostatic filtration technology of PFF2 or N95 type masks works like a magnet, capturing viral particles before they reach your nose, offering superior mechanical protection. But the ultimate protection, the one that trains your immune memory, remains up-to-date vaccination. The flu virus is a master of disguise. It undergoes what we call antigenic drift, slightly changing its external structure each year to deceive our system. That's why last year's vaccine is no good today. Getting the updated vaccine is like giving your security system the current photo of the criminal, not a photo from 10 years ago. Even if you catch the virus, your body will already know who the invader is, reacting much faster and preventing that inflammation from destroying your lungs. Listen carefully, because this is what separates someone who gets a mild cold from someone who goes to bed knocked out. Virological science shows us that H3N2 needs a period of fixation in your nasopharynx, the back of your nose, before descending to the lungs and causing major damage. This is what we call the high replication phase. The secret is not waiting for symptoms to appear, it's acting on them front door. The golden tip is high volume nasal irrigation. As soon as you get home from the street, forget that little drop of medicine. I'm talking about using plenty of saline solution, 0.9%. Why does this work? It's not just cleaning, it's physical. By rinsing your nose with a generous amount of water, you perform 3 crucial biological actions. Viral load reduction. You literally physically remove millions of viral particles that were trying to attach themselves to your cells. Fewer viruses, less severe illness. Mucus thinning. You break through the resistance of the dried mucus, allowing your antibodies to swim freely and attack the invader. Eyelash restoration. The serum hydrates the microscopic cilia in the nose, causing them to beat quickly again to expel the enemy. How to apply. Did you arrive from an enclosed or crowded place? Go straight to the bathroom and wash your hands. It's like washing your hands, but inside your airways. This simple mechanical action can drastically reduce the chance of a respiratory infection developing into something serious. Practice respiratory hygiene and watch your health transform. To conclude our consultation today on a high note, I want you to take this message with you. Fear paralyzes, but knowledge liberates and protects. Hand hygiene remains vital because the virus's envelope is made of fat, and so chemically dissolves this fat, instantly dismantling the virus. It's basic chemistry saving lives. Keep the environment ventilated, hydrate your mucous membranes, sleep to recharge your defenses, and trust in the science of vaccines. If you've made it this far, you're already part of a special group that values life and scientific truth. I am Dr. Robert Torniere, and I sincerely hope this information serves as a shield for you and your family in the coming days. Leave a like if you learned something new today and share this video in your family group right now, because sharing health is the greatest proof of love there is. A big hug, may God be with you, and until our next discovery.